You'll notice all the watches I have something which draws the eye.
Yeah, definitely.
And those are the ones I've kept the longest, and I think I will keep.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of What You Wearing. Today we have a very special guest all the way from Singapore, but we're actually in Geneva. So we have Sumei here. She's an ex-legal professional, now turned a part-time yoga teacher. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, kind of, but yes.
So Sumei, I've been following your account for quite a long time, and I've always been very impressed with the watches and the taste that you've built over the years.
Thank you.
Can you talk to me about your journey? Why is it so full of indies?
Well, I started with actually mainstream. Right off when I started working as a lawyer, my first paycheck went towards a Cartier Tank Francais, and I moved on to a JLC Reversal, but also ladies. Then I stopped because I thought, okay, too many watches. Then moving on, I saw an ad in the newspapers and I saw Lange 1, which was first introduced, and Octa Reserve de Marche from F. Pigeon, which was also then around the same time launched. And I looked at both of the dials and I said, wow, this is so interesting. Both are asymmetrical. You know, the dials are one off to the side, and I would like to explore getting one of these. I went to Zermatt for a skiing trip, back to Zurich, and I went into this shop called Les Ambassadors in Zurich. And I said, may I see both these watches? They brought both of them out, and both of them were very, very nice. But what got me hooked was the salmon-coloured dial and the F. Pigeon, which was very unusual at the time. And I kind of fell in love with it, and I bought it. And that was my first true indie, to me, purchase.
Yeah. You haven't looked back since?
No, not really. I went to Panerai actually. At one stage, big watches were the thing. I went to Panerai and I had a few, but it was very heavy on my wrist. It created a statement. I think women wear Panerai watches quite well, by the way, but it got a bit heavy, and the shape of the watch was like, after a while, it was the same. So I didn't quite like that. I went through Grand Seikos. I went through quite a number of watches before I refound my love for F. Pigeon.
Yeah, and then you just started off.
No, not with this, but a few others. But this is my favorite F. Pigeon.
Yeah,
it's different.
This is truly so special, and my personal favorite of all the Vagabondages. It's just that second disc.
Yeah.
It's so dynamic
and truly mesmerizing. I could just look at this for all the time, just watching the numbers switch.
Yeah.
It's a tempo, so you just like calm yourself down.
So tell me about this piece. How did you come about acquiring it, and what drew you to this?
I like unusual shapes. I like, all this time I always look for something different on the wrist. I didn't think rose gold would be my thing, so I was looking for the platinum version of the Vagabondage 3. Watchbox was good to me. They called me one day and they say, look, we have a rose gold version. Would you like to consider that? What are my chances of getting a platinum? I said, to be honest, it's going to be a bit difficult. They don't come by these watches very often. And I said, okay, why don't I get this? But when I saw it, oh my goodness, this is such a nice looking watch. It came on a black strap though. And I found that it didn't really set it off. So I went to Hughes, my usual strap maker, and I said, can you do something to make the watch look better on my wrist? And he says, I've got a Tiffany blue kind of strap. Give it to me. I mean, it doesn't quite look like a Tiffany blue. It's more turquoise.
Slightly darker.
Yes, but I picked it up and I think it pops.
Yeah, it goes very well. It goes very well with the rose gold. And I think it's a great pairing. I like how you've also just got one hole. It's like, clearly, no one else can wear this watch.
Yes, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depends on how you look at it.
Moving from this, something also independent, but I'd say visually quite different. This piece, the MB&F and Moser cylindrical tour. Tell me about this piece.
During the COVID era, during lockdown, they came out with a collab, Max and Edouard, and they had the MB&F Moser edition and the Moser MB&F edition. I actually wanted the MB&F Moser, LM101. I reached out to Max directly. He's very responsive, by the way. He didn't know me from anyone. I wrote to the chat line on MB&F. He wrote back personally to me and said, how can I help you? Unfortunately, we are sold out on the LM101 Burgundy, which is what I wanted as well. But we have the LM101 Palladium in sea green. Okay, so this is digression. He put me in touch with West Time, which had one piece of the Palladium, and I thought, okay, that's really nice. So I ordered from them. West Time said, why don't you look at the Moser MB&F one? It's slightly different because it's got a cylindrical tourbillon, but it's got a left-hand wear, which I wasn't really comfortable with at the start. But kind of when I saw more pictures of it and read more about it, and I thought, this is quite interesting. This will be my first tourbillon actually. So, and it looks very unusual. Again, quite mesmerizing when you look at it.
Yeah.
I seldom look at the time actually.
Well, we can even then you can even just
yes.
wear
so
it
I
the
wear
opposite.
it yes.
Yeah.
So I wear it on the opposite side sometimes because I like just looking at how the
And then the crown would be on the right hand side.
yeah. I was a bit concerned that the dome would be too big and I'd be knocking my hand everywhere,
Have
you have
you?
this fear. No, actually, you're very careful with it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're that rough, I don't play sports with it or do anything rough with it. And it's quite elegant, and I've kept this. And this is really one of my favorite watches as well. I mean, you can have many favorite watches, right?
Probably one of the watches I would associate you with the most. Like whenever I see this on Instagram, oh, Sumei, I instantly, yeah, it's so iconically you.
It is kind of me. I mean, slightly different, but.
And red, I wouldn't say most people would pick red as a choice, but because usually people will wear blue, green, and the red is normally more of a different choice. And
Yeah, hard to pair sometimes though. But you know,
this strap, you've done well with it.
again, Hughes,
Yeah.
Himalayan. I seldom change out of my straps unless they're easy, but this is clearly a bit more difficult. So I have to use the tool, and sometimes I'm not bothered.
And you don't want to ruin the lugs.
Yes.
Well, speaking of red watches, and carry on the theme, is that, yeah, I'm guessing red is a favorite color of yours?
Not. I wouldn't say that actually, but red is very distinctive.
Yeah.
On watches, it stands out and it catches the eye. So it just so happens that then you've got orange as well. But yes, red is something distinctive and different. I've been admiring the Bulldog, and I never thought I could wear it. The first time I saw it was the Panda only watch, which Max did.
So good.
Yeah, so during COVID, they had the exhibition shortly after when they allowed people to go out. They had the Only Watch exhibition in the Hourglass at Singapore. So I managed to go and attend one of the preview events or the exhibition. And I looked at the Panda and I thought, it's so cute. I love animals. So I thought, okay, Panda watches are cute. But I think they're unwearable. Then the person who was attending said, actually you'd be surprised at how wearable these watches are. So I took the watch, I put it on my wrist, and I thought, the lugs fit really well.
Yeah.
But of course, only watch prizes are like only watch prizes.
Yeah.
So I put in a low bid. I didn't win, of course. But it set my mind thinking to the Bulldog shape. And I wrote to Max. By that time, I had a relationship with him. And I said, I love your Panda. Are you going to do a Panda iteration for your watches? Aside from the Bulldog. He says, well, that's actually an only watch. So unlikely that we'll do something. But we might have something special coming out. He didn't tell me what it was. You might find that it wears just as well as the Panda. So I waited and waited. And when he launched it, I asked for this piece because the black on the red, or the red on the black, was quite spectacular. I managed to get an allocation. It's 1 of 8. And I went back to Hughes and I said, it came with a corduroy
Velcro.
Yeah, Velcro
Velcro,
strap, which clearly doesn't fit my wrist.
Yeah.
So I went back to Hughes and I said, can you do something for me? He gave me this very nice, soft nubuck
Yeah.
alligator, and just, he says, you don't need any stitching or whatever, just do some side
Two at a
stitches.
time, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Of course, you notice the buckle doesn't match though.
I have the same issue with the Nitro. I can't find the buckle.
The buckle to
in-
match, right?
Yeah. And I asked them like if could you PVD it, and they said technically we could, but it would scratch very quickly because it would be on the bottom, and you'd just be like hanging, and then once it scratches and the PVD gets off, then it's just gonna look bad. So
Well, if you find one, let me know, and then
Yeah.
I'm happy to
you match it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll notice all the watches I have a bit something which draws the eye,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
and those are the ones I've kept the longest, and I think I will keep. I won't say forever because I don't want to make statements statements like this categorically, but they look like keepers to me, and they are keepers, and I've been keeping them for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't envisage selling them at any point of time.
Yeah. I mean, some of these pieces, once you sell it, it's unlikely to be able to ever get it again. I suppose like if there's 1 in 8, 1 in 60, 68, this 1 in 50.
Yes, yes.
Maybe Journe only made 68 of these so he could keep one for himself.
Maybe.
Hey.
Yeah.